Hey, so hello, you guys. For those of you who don't know, my name is Dallas, and today I wanted to come on here and make a video to invite you guys to come along on a new experience with me. So I'll give you guys a quick little background. If you want to learn more about me, there'll be other videos that you can look into. I'll give you a quick little background. I've been working with plant medicine for the last couple of years. In particular, I like to educate people with mushroom medicine and the benefits that come along with using that plant ally in a safe and intentional way. I kind of fell into this work from my own practice. I'm a trauma release, conscious connected breath practitioner. I'm also a sound practitioner. Those are the two main things that I do. The psilocybin came into my life in a varying of different ways, but it came into my life in this version, and how I started doing this work was after taking a very, 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 very long break from any plant medicine and then experiencing psilocybin on my own, melding it with the breath work that I do. And for me, it was such a healing experience. I continued to practice with the medicine myself, um, combining the knowledge of the breath work and learning about this beautiful medicine in a more intentional way. Sorry about that. My first time around, what I like to call my first time around with the medicine of mushrooms, was very young. Very eye-opening and not a lot of intention other than curiosity, right? And then coming back to it as an adult, really having an intention to explore the network that lives inside of my body. The breath work that I work with, all breath work that we do is directly tied to the nervous system. However, the breath work in particular that I work with is a conscious connected breath that helps us dive into our fight or flight nervous system and in a way that is calm and grounded, not too intense like holotropic breathing, which I love, but it's a little bit more calmed down than that. And what it does is it allows us access to the nervous system, to the library that lives within our body. And the nervous system is really cool because I call it the library. Especially the fight or flight nervous system, I call the library, especially that part of the library. I think it is the oldest, most ancient part of the library. It's kind of like having a key to everything that's come before, that lives within your waters, within your blood. And to me, the blood, the water is one of the most important elements that we get to learn from within our body. So, sorry about that, that we get to learn from within our body. And so for me, learning about the nervous system, understanding how it works with the brain, how it works with our emotions, how it's tied into sound, how sound can affect these things, frequency, vibration. When I paired it up with a intentional, reasonable dose of psilocybin, what I found was it was much easier for me to drop into that web, to drop into the system of my nervous system, into the library. For me, the psilocybin kind of put this lens over my eyes. I like to call it the lens of a child. And for me, it really gives this perspective of grace and compassion when taken in the right setting with the right intentions. And having that lens of grace or compassion while going into this nervous system was just absolutely mind-blowing. What it did for me and for my healing process was completely unexpected. It really opened up my eyes to seeing my challenges or trauma or difficulties in a whole new light. It made me find a lot of love for my challenges, not right away. It wasn't like a, right away thing, but over time, seeing through this new perspective, I would say over about 2 years of working with the psilocybin intentionally in this way, I started to really, really have a lasting shift. So after every ceremony, I would feel a shift, but a lasting shift that I was waking up in that way of being. So the medicine has just been doing so much for me emotionally, mentally, and after a lot of years of working with the medicine in a ceremony format and respecting it and only coming to the medicine once a month, sometimes twice a month, some things in my brain have started to really open up to the powers of this medicine. And for me, it was a very spiritual journey. It was a very emotional and mental journey. And I feel like a little bit my physical body got slightly left behind. And I think a lot of that's just due to the culture that I'm in, the culture of the West, where they really separate mind and body. So I am really excited because the medicine has asked me and taken me to a place to learn deeper about their wisdom, the wisdom of the mushrooms, and to start really embarking on the science and the research that is starting to come out amongst this psychedelic movement that's happening here, really all over the world, but that's happening for us here in the US right now, especially on the West Coast. We're starting to gain a little bit of ground and being able to work with the medicine a little bit more legally than we were before. Not 100%, but a little bit more accessible depending on where you live or where you can afford to experience this medicine. And so for me, what happened was I was put into the path of a course. I've been looking at a lot of different courses to dive deeper into the knowledge of the mushrooms, but this course really, really stood out to me. It had amazing, amazing teachers, and it was really focused on research-based science. And a lot of it is citizen research-based science. And now that things are starting to change over here, we are able to start getting some like lab research in as well. And I was really excited when I saw the course. I'm really, really happy to be a part of it, and we're just getting started. But as we are just getting started, I'm starting to realize the huge difference between microdoses, mini doses, and macro doses. And in my mind, for what I do is micro doses, but really it's not. Really what I do is more of a mini dose and up into macros. And so this is really eye-opening for me. I was a little bit aware. I've read some books, I've done some of my own research. So I am aware of the power that mushrooms has to help us create new connections in the brain. It's not that they're creating the new connections, but they help us to be able to do that, which is why that mushrooms can be so good for things like memory and um, brain function and cognitive function. And I'm not just speaking about psilocybin or magic mushrooms, but mushrooms in general, right? Like there's so many reishi, lion's mane, there's just so many mushrooms. And a lot of them have the ability to help our brain, which also helps our state of being, right? In a fully encompassed way, because as we know, the brain, or as you know, if you've watched some of my other videos, the brain directly affects the rest of our body and our nervous system, and our nervous system directly affects our brain. So I'm really excited to be diving deeper, and I am going to be sharing with you guys as I learn more about this side of working with the medicine. I myself am going to start a protocol, though I have microdosed in the past. I haven't really stuck to a real protocol. I'm gonna probably end up creating my own protocol because I know me, and I have a very personal relationship with the medicine, and I would like to kind of hear what she or what they have, what this medicine has to say to me and what way I should be using it. And I want to share this. I want to share this experience with you, and I want to share what I find with you guys working with the medicine in a more microdose way. And I have not done a lot of sharing of my experience with the medicine in other ways. So I'm hoping to get on here and have the confidence to start sharing with you guys even more. I might eventually create a private page so that we can have a really safe place to dive into things. But for now, I'll be keeping things at an educational level, and we'll be getting to experience and learn with each other. So I am really looking forward to this. Intuitionally, what's really coming across to me for working with the medicine in a microdose way is to bring my body along for this journey. There's a few different medicines, right, that we can microdose with. I'm going to start with the one that I have the closest relationship with, that I'm working with, and that I have a mission here on this earth with, which is, you guessed it, mushrooms. So I wanted to invite you guys to come along for this journey, to experience it with me. I'm going to do my best to at least once a week make a new video, and let you guys know how it's going. Yeah, so my main intentions are to bring my body along, which for me, what that means is getting back to a place where I feel joy in my body. So true to true to the world that I am raised in, despite my efforts to learn and to soak in the teachings of many peoples and places. Being from the Western culture and from the United States, the separation of mind, body, and spirit is really big over here. I know that in some other cultures, they don't even have therapists because they they see physical issues with the body, is attached to like emotional well-being, and they don't see it as removed. Like you don't need to go see a psychiatrist for your mind, a doctor for your health. It's one and the same, because the doctor is going to take into consideration your mental and emotional state. So me living here, and even though I'm hearing all this knowledge about mind, body, spirit, mind, body, spirit, mind, body, spirit, I feel like the last 3 or 4 years I've been really hyper focused on mind and spirit, because my mind and spirit, not when I started this healing journey, I've been on it for a long time and always will be, but when I started diving into some of the bigger life traumas that were arising and had arisen at that time of my life, they were of the spiritual and mental state. I was having a really hard time with my emotions and with attachment problems, being very, very attached, a lot of codependency, a lot of anxiety, depression. So, and then with that, because my spiritual connection was really deep before this particular trauma came up. And the more that my mental and emotional state was being affected from this experience, the more that I started to lose trust in my spiritual connection. And so therefore, I began to embark upon a journey, right? And my physical body at that time of the beginning of this section of my healing journey, which was really about reclaiming my heart and reclaiming my heart and reclaiming my person, myself. I had lost a lot of tidbits of myself over this 8 year process. And when I began coming out of that, I realized I had felt really lost about which pieces of me I still felt at home with, and which pieces of me no longer felt at home. So I began this process of that, and my body at the time was pretty healthy. I had a little knee injury, and a couple other minor things, a couple of major minor things that at the time weren't so huge. I was also a lot younger and all these things. So I dove into this journey, and I kind of just let my body temple get thrashed. Not in the sense that I was, doing a bunch of things that were hard on it. Like I'm still eating decently, and I don't drink and I don't party. So, I'm not like trashing it in that way, but emotionally, I was going through such a hard time, and I stopped dancing. Like literally over the last 4 years, probably the amount of times that I've danced, you could count on two hands. And I used to be a dancer. I used to dance every day of my life, for my whole life. From the ages of really like 17 to probably 27, 28. yeah, about that, 29 maybe, 28, 29, and I quit dancing. And so I quit having fun in my body, and my body really became this temple of deep shadow work, which is okay. But this is why balance can be really helpful, but sometimes we can't have balance. Sometimes we really just got to dive into something. So in the process of doing that, my body became this temple space for that work. Which I'm so grateful to this body for becoming a temple space for that work. But I gained a lot of weight. Um, this is definitely the heaviest I've been in my life. I let my injuries go from bad to worse, really worse. And I would say like the last 3 or 4 years of the relationship that I was in prior to this 4 years of starting this healing journey. And before that, there was another chunk of time with this relationship. I would say prior to this 4 years of healing time, my body started to get ignored during this time, and then really just became a holding space over the next 4 years for the healing of my heart and my mind and my spirit. And, those things are still healing and weaving. And I do feel that it is time to start listening to the body. I've been listening to my inner body really a lot, listening to my nervous system a lot. But now I feel like it's time to listen to my muscles and to my bones, to my fascia, and to the parts of me that are really crying for help. And my goal and my hope is to have the microdosing protocol help me with that. So that's my personal, I guess, test, my personal research for myself is okay, can I use microdosing to bring my body back on board? And I don't want to say like off board because I think my body's been like very much on board with this healing journey, very aware of what I've been going through and is just really taking the brunt and of whatever is being like left behind in the body, right? To clear the mind, to clear the spirit, still have to clear the body. Um, so yes, that's my main personal goal with the microdosing research, with this course that I'm taking. Of course, it's also to be able to come to you guys and be able to coach and educate you. I just need to take a sip of water real quick. To coach and educate you so that you can also build your own relationship with this medicine and build your own trust and build your own protocol. But for me, on a personal reason, it's to bring my body back up to, I hate the word like back. I don't want to say back into alignment because it's just, I'm so tired of using those words. But yeah, just bring my body up to pace with my mind and my spirit. Because in my heart feels so ready to love, and my mind feels like it is strong. My mind feels strong, stronger than it's been in a long time. And my spirit feels very connected. My bridge to spirit feels really open right now, really sturdy and really strong. So I want my body to be able to embody all of that. And obviously, I do think there's some hangups, right? It's not just a physical thing. A big part of it has become physical because I'm in so much pain that it is hard to get inspired to do the things that I need to take care of my body. And I know that's a huge part of it. Another part of it is something still happening, right? Like in here and in here, some part of me that wants to connect in with fun and joy again. And I have a lot of fun and I have a lot of joy and I love the work that I do. Um, but I'm definitely not experiencing and embodying joy the way that I used to. So that is my secondary, not secondary, but that's right there. So with my goals or my curiosities or my research, like Can I use microdosing to reprogram my brain to come back home to bringing joy, true joy, joy just for joy, fun just for fun, back into my life? And can I use microdosing to, that's funny how you lose the finger, use microdosing to also bring my body up to the same frequency that my mind and heart and spirit are vibrating at right now. So these are my two main things. I'm inviting you guys along to observe this and see how it goes. Like I said, microdosing with psilocybin is totally new experience to me. I thought that I had been doing a lot of microdoses, but it turns out my monthly ceremonies, they're really like a mini dose and they go up from there, which has so much benefit. And I do think for my protocol, what I'm going to do that is very different from microdosing, um, is I think that I'm going to start with, I have a ceremony coming up. So I'm going to start with a mini dose, excuse me, and let that kind of be the starting point, be the intention setter for these microdoses that are coming up. And I think that works good for me because I already am very comfortable with the medicine. I have a lot of love and understanding and trust in the medicine. So I think, this is okay for me to do. I wouldn't recommend that for anybody that's watching who's totally brand new and has never experienced psilocybin or plant medicine, psychoactive plant medicine. I would not suggest that you do that. I would suggest that you start with true microdoses and have that experience and build that relationship. But I'm coming at this from a slightly different place. Someone who's not brand new and somebody who has been really using this medicine in a deeply spiritual way. So I think that that will be a good starting point for me to jump into my microdosing. So thank you for anybody who's watched this much of this. And I'm really excited and looking forward to sharing with you how this goes and what my protocol ends up being. And just, yeah, being someone, I feel like it's really such an honor and a blessing to be somewhere in the world where I have the ability to work with this medicine in a safe, legal way, in the sense that where I live, it is decriminalized, so it's okay for me to have it and to work with it, right? I can't share it with others. Um, I can't produce it, I can't make it, grow it, or sell it or buy it, but I can have it. And so that I am going to do my part and share my experience for you guys who aren't around or aren't in a place where you can do that. So I'm sending you all my love. Thank you so much, you guys. If you want to keep learning more about what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and who I am, I'm going to slowly be adding videos to this page and kind of figuring out what this space is going to mean to me here on YouTube. I'm relatively new to being on here in this type of a way. So sending you guys lots of love, many blessings, and we will connect soon.